This is Cody Rhodes. Hit the subscribe button.
Hi, Spots and Cheap Pops! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Silicon Steve Valley with Vladi Dadi! Here is part 2 of our interview with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes.
Oh, man. Cody, I have a 2-part question for you here.
That's more than I can count.
I'm sure you can count up to 3. How were you able to convince Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to overlook their differences and join forces to take on the Usos? And also, I have to ask you, have you ever considered a career in diplomacy?
Well, it's very interesting on your first question. It's an interesting tale. It's an interesting point. How did Cody Rhodes get the 2 long-lost brothers, long-lost friends, long-lost partners, long-lost amigos back together again after forswearing each other? It was quite simple. I told him it was 2 weeks to the pay-per-view and we had to get it on. It's kind of dragging. Let's book the match now.
There's the finish line, fellas.
And yeah, it's only 2 weeks away, dickheads. It's kind of all right. I mean, Pete, all the marks were calling it for 6 months, for Christ's sake. Not like it's a surprise, right? Let's move it along.
Talk about a slow burn.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Cody, I'm more than impressed by what you did there. We could have used your help in the Middle East.
Well, it's interesting you talk about it. When you talk about something in the Middle East, and you have Palestine, and you have Israel, and all of the complex situations going on with that, what would Cody Rhodes do? What would the American Nightmare do? Well, quite simply, the American Nightmare would create an American dream.
Oh, we're there. We're just about there.
Okay. I'm sorry, but holding back the tears that sometimes is just so hard. But somehow the American dream has to be honored, but the American Nightmare has to conquer and do something that nobody in my lineage has ever done and finish the story. The story I want to finish is Breaking Bad. I stopped after episode 4, season 5.
You have to go back to it, Cody. It's great.
That's the story. It's not really anything to do with Roman Reigns.
It's great. It's good stuff.
Well, as long as we're on the same page now.
You definitely are. Cody, I need to ask you, what are your thoughts about Paul Heyman's involvement in your feud with Roman?
Well, I have to be honest, Mr. Heyman, he does a lot of great things, and he's one of the geniuses in the history of this business. You talk about the history, the Dangerous Alliance, the Samoan SWAT team, ECW. Sure, everything that Paul Heyman has done touches to gold, except for a buffet. Holy shit, can he eat. It's amazing. I've never seen a man so pear-shaped in my entire life. Even the top of his head is similar to the top of a pear. All he needs is a little stick sticking atop of the crown. Humpty Dumpty, he is. But a legend in his own right, I have to be honest. Absolute nothing but respect for Paul Heyman. And of course, what he did for my father. Well, we did everything we could. We scratched. We survived on barely an acre and a half of land and a 16-bedroom mansion. We thrived, but we only had $100 in a Chase account. Luckily, we had $3 million in a Cayman Islands account, so it was all good.
Is this a shoot, Cody?
I'm just trying to explain the story. Well, with an idea that I pitched to a certain con, not a con I currently work for.
Oh,
I previously pitched it to another company about a year and a half ago, and they said it wouldn't get over.
Cody, You brought him up earlier. I have to ask, and I got to bring up your dear dad again. This storyline includes names like Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens.
Wait. I have to stop you. Can you say something about my dad again so I can get the emotion a little bit better?
Your dad, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty, yes, yeah. He had a tremendous impact on many of the participants of this feud, and they trained with him. They were heavily influenced by him. He shares some thoughts on their connection to your dad, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
Oh, well, I got to nail that one more time. I don't think I felt fat enough.
Yeah, you need me to ask it again, Cody?
Just ask one more time. I'm going to do my best this time to really. I don't know if I looked fat enough and emotional. What did you think, Vladi Dadi?
Well, considering you're calling in and you're yeah, it's hard to see you. We're using a picture of you.
All right, well, just one more.
So,
this is not a still. I'm just very still right now. That's why I'm trying to become a good actor. I'm trying to transcend my career and transcend the WWE and take over my rightful place as the number one babyface ever, never ender.
Forever? Roman, Sami, and Kevin. They were all ironically trained by and heavily influenced by your father, Dusty Rhodes. Can you share some thoughts on their connection to Dusty?
You know, it's been an ongoing thing. Even when I was conquering every other promotion I could possibly get my hands on, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, another company. And all the time, everyone has said that they trained with my father. And yes, my father, he's not going to be around dropping bionic elbows. He's not going to be around slapping his stomach. So it's not just about me beating the odds, me beating Roman Reigns, me beating Paul Heyman, the Usos, and Solo Sikoa. It's not just about that. It's about the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes beating the specter of his dad, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And I can tell you this, Vladi Dadi. The legacy of my father will be felt, but make no mistake, Rhodes will be the champion of WWE, and his name is Cody Rhodes. That's me.
Yeah, I figured that out.
That was me.
Cody, what was
Vladi Dadi, this has been a pleasure, and I only have time for a couple more questions. But I love to chew the garb and chew the fat with some great fans such as yourselves.
Well, it's an honor for me to even be in your presence. I got to ask you, Cody, what was more difficult in your career? Playing the role of Stardust or watching Kenny Omega book the women's division at AEW? Speaking of AEW, what are some of your favorite and least favorite moments being there?
Well, my favorite moment was being the face of the company, being one of the building blocks of starting a new place where people can make a living, people can feed their families, people can do all the things that they want to do and make their dreams come true in AEW and in this business. The negatives were when the fans were telling me to shut the fuck up in my last promo.
They were pretty brutal to you, Cody.
Oh my God. Did you hear them? Now look, yeah, I'm a pretty emotional guy if you haven't noticed. But I will say this. Who's laughing now, assholes? Cody. Codyverse is doing just A-okay now, isn't it? You know, I remember a couple springs ago, I was going to be a part of a pay-per-view, but I wasn't main eventing. I wasn't headlining. No. I was facing a young up-and-comer by the name of Anthony Agogo. Gogo. Is that his name? I forget. Less than 2 years later, less than 2 years removed, this journey brings me to the prefaces of the biggest successful WrestleMania, seriously, since I can't even remember, since possibly the 60s.
60s.
Well, as you know, I'm quite the wrestling historian, Vladis and Steves. The bottom end of the day was the fact that I wanted fans to love me. I wanted them to respect me. I wanted them to adore me. I wanted them to make me the biggest and greatest babyface ever. And they shunned me. Sure, maybe I was brash. Maybe the gender reveal on national television was a little much. Maybe the weigh-in with the Big Show. Oh, I can say that because I work for WWE. Assholes. And then when I asked Tony Khan to simply pay me the same amount of money he's paying the likes of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Ruby Soho, Adam Cole, Saraya,
Peter Avalon.
Peter Avalon. I just wanted a little bit of a bigger piece of the pie. So I think the fans basically telling me to fuck myself was the hardest part. But I guess I'm okay now, you know, since now I'm loved by millions.
It is true. People love you, Cody.
I'm so over they didn't boo me when I was in the ring with Sammy.
Which was huge.
I honestly, hey, I know those fuck you chants. I smelled them. I just had bad production and Tony Khan in my ear. And 100-pound wrestlers in my ear.
Thank you so much for listening and watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. Hit the subscribe button, then please comment, share. Let's build this community, and thank you for getting us over 100 subscribers.